Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. It is game week 7 in the Premier League, so let's check out the games and predict what we think is going to happen. We've got last week's results up on the left-hand side there. Chelsea obviously went down to 10 men and ended up losing 3-1 to Brighton at home. Obviously, Liverpool suffered their first defeat of the season away to Palace with an Nketiah 97th minute winner. Terrible. We've got Leeds United, they drew 2-2 with Bournemouth. Man City, dominant win over Burnley with Haaland getting some goals again. Nottingham Forest lost 1-0 at home to Sunderland. Forest are not doing well. They lost last night as well. 3-2 it ended in the Europa League. And Postecoglou, mate, on the way out. Get out of my club. Well, it's not my club, I support Liverpool, but that's how the Forest fans are obviously feeling at the minute. And then we got Tottenham, who ended up getting a late equaliser against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves picked up their first point of the season. Good point for them. We got Villa. Moving on to Sunday, Villa ended up winning 3-1 against Fulham to get, I think it's their first win in the Prem this season. And then obviously Arsenal, very late winner, Gabriel. I hate Gabriel, by the way. But it is funny, isn't it, to see when players go over the top. 2-1 against Newcastle. And then Everton 1-1 with West Ham, with Nuno Espirito Santo's first game. So, yeah, a few shock results in there from last week. Obviously, Palace, it's a banana skin for Liverpool, isn't it? Palace, I feel like. With the players that we had out, we should have done much better, to be fair. But Palace are like unbeaten in 19 games now. I think they won 2-0 yesterday in the Conference League. I reckon they'll end up going on to win that whole tournament, to be fair. But let's move on to predictions for this week, game week 7. We've got Bournemouth Fulham, Friday Night Football, actually kicks off in just under 5 hours. So Bournemouth last week drew 2-2 of Leeds away, and Fulham lost 3-1 away to Aston Villa. I'm going to go for... I think Bournemouth will win this. So I think Fulham are very good. They got some very good individual players. But I'm going to go for a Bournemouth, I think, a 2-0 Bournemouth win for that game. I think Fulham, they're just not going to get anything away to Bournemouth. So, yeah, 2-0 win for Bournemouth I'm going for. And then Leeds United, Tottenham. 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday morning. Tough one because Spurs were awful last week. They got away with a draw in the Champions League as well this week against Bodo Glimt of all teams. Leeds United at home on a Saturday, I think it'll be too much for Spurs. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Leeds United win. Then we've got Arsenal West Ham, 3 o'clock kickoff. I think Arsenal... West Ham have won the last 2 trips there, and obviously as a Liverpool fan, I need West Ham to actually win or get a draw against Arsenal, but I am going to go for an Arsenal win, if I'm being honest. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Arsenal win against West Ham. Then we've got Man United, Sunderland. I've seen a lot of people this week saying Sunderland are probably going to win. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those games where Sunderland score first, but then Man United push, and end up getting an equaliser. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that one. Miguel Almiron, what's his name? Ruben Almiron, I think he'll get the chop during the international window, if I'm being honest. Then we've got Chelsea-Liverpool, 5:30 kickoff at the Bridge. Game of the week. I'm going to go for a Liverpool win. Not just because I'm a Liverpool fan, but I do think Chelsea need to bounce back, don't they? Did they win? Yeah, they beat Benfica, didn't they, during the week? Pardon me. Yeah, I'm going to stick to Liverpool winning. I'm going to go for a 3... Oh, I don't think we'll score 3. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Liverpool win, late winner again. And then who's that? Aston on Sunday. We got Villa Burnley. I think Villa will definitely win this game. They had a good result during the week against is it PSV or no Feyenoord? Sorry. Did you know Robin van Persie's their manager as well? I didn't even know that. Yeah, they had a good win. McGinn's in good form, and I think they'll have just a bit too much for Burnley. And then it was the final game before the international break as well, so I'm going for an Aston Villa win. I'm going to go for a 4-2 Aston Villa win. I do think they'll concede. So 4-2 Villa against Burnley. And then we've got Everton Palace. Obviously, Palace are on a 19-game unbeaten run. So that's a toughie. It's a toughie for the Toffees. But do you know what? I'm going to go for an Everton win. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Everton win. I just got that feeling. 2 o'clock on a Sunday in Liverpool at the Hill Dickinson. Then we've got Newcastle against Nottingham Forest. Newcastle are 100% going to win this game. I honestly feel like Ange is going to get sacked soon, which is crazy because I love Ange Postecoglou. But I honestly think Nottingham Forest, he'll be sacked by Christmas. It may be even the international break, but yeah, might be a bit too soon. But Marinakis won't stand for it. I think his plan was get rid of Nuno because they fell out. He wants to see different style of football. And yeah, obviously Ange will bring attacking style, and I think he may stick with Ange if Ange gets some wins together in the Europa League, because that could be the only way they get into the Champions League. I think that's what Marinakis is after the disappointing finish last season. But I do think Newcastle will win this game. Walter Mardle will score at least one. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Newcastle United win. And then we've got Wolves Brighton. I'm going to go for Wolves getting their first 3 points in this game. Obviously, they had a good draw. I'll tell you who looks good. That number 10 for Wolves. What's his name? He played very good against Spurs. Arias, I think his name is. Colombian. He looked very good. I'm going to go for a Wolves. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Wolverhampton Wanderers. And then the final game of the week before the international break, we've got Brentford versus Manchester City. You know, everyone take the mix out of Man United for losing, and of course it's because their style of play and all the rest of it that goes with it, the formation, their tactics, Amaron being stubborn as hell. But I really like Brentford, the way they play under Keith Andrews as well. I think this could be a hard game for Man City, you know. I'm gonna go all out and go for a 3-3 draw. Brentford, Manchester City. Yeah, 3-3. So that's my final prediction for game week 7. All that good stuff. Got an international break coming up, of course, as well, which is obviously poo-poo times. Not good. No one cares. Not really into the whole international football stage. But guys, they are my predictions for game week 7. Let me know in the comments what your predictions are. Let me know if I'm miles off it and all that good stuff. If you're new, please sub. If you enjoyed, please like. And I'll be back after the international break for game week 8. See you in the next one.